All right. Happy Monday, everybody. Big waves out there. Let's get it started. Get it started. So I love, we got people walking, we got people at work, we got people drinking coffee, getting their day going at home, and people just getting off work, like Billy Grady just got off. And so we are super appreciative that you join us each and every day during the week to just share a few thoughts with you. And if you're a guest on here this morning, we're grateful for you. And please come back and bring somebody with you. A lot of people in this business is in here is in our company, but we have people outside of here that's not in our company, and just they're entrepreneurs, they're working jobs, they're going through life, and now they're jumping on here, kind of getting just a few thoughts before they kick off their day. So that's awesome. That's what we want this to be. And I know Coach Meyer has just joined us this morning, and I love what she had us kind of look at today. It's leading. This is not a word. This is kind of a phrase, if you will. Leading in anxious times. Leading in anxious times. What was so great about it is Anthony actually sent me a quote, and I had wrote this quote down this morning, Anthony. We cannot direct the wind, but we can adjust the sails. That's I really love the quote. I've used it. I've learned from it through my life, but it really sticks out to me during anxious times when I'm trying to lead, because there's a lot of things that I've got to accept, the things I cannot control. This pandemic happened, and I don't think any of us control it. Do you? I don't think we got a choice. Nobody really called me and asked me what I thought about it. So that was supposed to be funny. Come on now, it's Monday. You got to smile a little bit. But here's the thing. I couldn't direct the wind, but I did have to adjust the sail, and I'm speaking for my company right now, right now. It changed things. Right? It changed the way we did business to some extent. And it's not fun not being good at something, especially if you're a type of personality. So when times anxious, like, oh, I got to learn something new. I got to hire a different skill. I got to stink at it at first. But as a leader, I said this yesterday, and I'm going to say it again today because it's so it's so prevalent for the leading in anxious times. But you got to be willing to just say yes, announce your decision to the world, and then figure it out. That's what leaders do. Leaders figure out things during anxious times. They don't have the stairway built. They don't know exactly what it looks like, but they know they've got to forge a path because the times are changing. It's anxious. There's things are being. Does that make sense to you? And Myra's probably thinking, oh my goodness, he's going off in left field. But here's the thing about this. This is what really I was thinking about, because that's the times we're living in right now. It's different. As we hadn't in our history since we've lived, things are different today. Okay. But here's the thing. There's going to be a wave come through. I think back of the days of VCRs. You can all remember it. When everybody went from movies to now they're at home and they're sticking big tape into a VCR and then popcorn and a microwave. And then guess what happened? Blockbusters blew up. Remember Blockbusters that you could walk in, you could get your movie, you could get you some Twitters, you could get you popcorn, you could get everything you were at the movie and then take it home and watch it. Blockbusters blew up all over the world. And then Netflix came in. There was things that changed in the world, and that's where today people are finding out new ways to do business, to communicate, you build relationships, and you just got to say yes to it. Announce that you're going to figure out, now everybody, hey, I'm going to figure this thing out, and then you start working on it and realize you got to be bad before you're good and good before you're great. And I'm going to leave you with this, Coach. The thing I thought of is when you're leading through anxious times, I wrote three things. I believe that you got to lead we and us during anxious times. Nobody wants to hear I did this, I did that. We better come together and know that we've got each other's backs, right, Arlene? Enos, we got to have backs during the time. You got to know you can call me and I can call you, and nobody better mess with us because we together, we're a unit. We got to lead with we and us. Number two, strong communication during anxious times between our team. Man, we got to communicate. We got to collaborate. We got to make people feel like they're involved and they're a part of the collaboration. Anxious times. And number three, we're willing to fail forward. And this is probably the hardest one because we as humans don't like to not know how to do something. We don't like to stink at first. We don't like to, not be good. So here's the deal. We've got to be willing to try new things as we're building that staircase to something beautiful. And we got to be willing forward and no, not that, this, not that, this. Correct it a little bit. Let's correct it a little bit. And that's how we create something that is really magnificent through anxious times. So Coach, I'm going to turn it to you. Thank you for sharing this with us today.
Well, thank you, Brent. And yes, we have some anxious times going on right now. And the thing is, I want to pitch this, what I'm going to say, and Coach did this as well, is I want everybody on here to understand that I view you and as a leader, and I want you to take on that responsibility. And I know Coach Palmer is the exact same way on that. So let this resonate with you. Because there are people looking at every single one of us to help lead during all of this craziness going on. True leaders never, ever waste a challenge. They'll do what it takes to turn it into a meaningful opportunity. Right now we're living through a crisis, and our world really needs all of us as leaders to step up. We need to have more people that can help others overcome their weaknesses and fears. And like Coach said, come together to do better, even do more difficult things than any one of us could do on our own. So how do we bring inspiration and motivation in this unbelievably anxious world that we're living in right now? Well, first of all, we have to help other people understand their stress. During this pandemic, it's very common for people to push their stress away. Everybody, you know what I'm talking about. We probably all have been a little bit anxious and pushed it away in some capacity. Some people are very, very reluctant to even acknowledge their fears. As leaders, we must model healthy ways of how to deal with our own stress. I watch Coach Palmer a lot. I watch Andrea a lot. I watch different people all across. I've watched Coach Adam Jarnigan a lot in his business. Stress gets high, and I've watched every one of these individuals really deal with it in a positive manner. So we all have to model that. We also must encourage others to own it, own that stress, own that anxiety, and address anything they're feeling. And that's tough. That's very difficult to do. We also, another way is to encourage people to face their fears and the anxieties and take positive action. Franklin Roosevelt once told our nation, "We have nothing to fear but fear itself." That's a very simple statement, but it's also very, very powerful. This is what I believe he was really saying, that we must meet all anxieties and every crisis that comes our way head on. Why? Because this is where we find our strength. I'm telling you guys, that's a fact. That's where we find our strength. No problems can be solved until we face it. And there's no resolution if we turn away. So, as leaders, we're charged with showing understanding to anxious people, and then we must lead them to act upon it. And the third thing that I want to kind of share with you is we have to provide a purpose and a distinct direction. Right now, fear is rampant when anxiety is present. As leaders, we must encourage and invite people to serve with purpose in a very defined direction. We need to remind others that they're valued and that their work and their lives truly matter. When people know where they're going and when they have a clear sense of purpose, meaning and value behind what they're doing, guess what happens? The anxiety will fade. And that's our opportunity to model this. It will help everyone's anxiety fade. So, as leaders, especially in a crisis, let me just say in closing, we must keep our message consistent with our actions. We must remind our people, our team, that the crisis we are experiencing gives us, here it comes, it gives us an opportunity to do better and be better together. So I hope that you were able to grab something in that, and we just all have to take on that role. We have to put on that coat of leadership every day, and together we're better. So get out there and be fantastic leaders in this craziness that's going on in our world right now. Thank you, and I love y'all.
Coach, thank you so much for that. And I just want to say that when you had me look at this, really this is an opportunity, like you said, for all of us. This time we're going through an opportunity for the people that step up, lead. We're going to be almost noticed in a way that you've never seen, because that's what the world's calling for right now. They need people like you stepping up out there in the different communities around the world. So for taking that challenge. We love you. We're grateful. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Yes.
Rock this Monday.
Bye, y'all.
Yeah.